Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to the Music Industry Makeover here on this Thursday night, right here, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. DJ Ronnie with you, along with Rico Gibson. How you doing there, my brother?
What's going on, man? Happy Friday, man. Happy Thursday.
Yeah.
We glad to be here, man. Another Thursday, man. God is good.
Yes, we are awesome. Yes, definitely. Yes. Yes. Simone. Yeah, she had to do something. So tonight, we'll see what the deal is. So if she's able to get on, but not, we're gonna keep it moving. We got a great show tonight lined up for you. We're gonna be talking about streaming, bro. Streaming and some other.
It's a conversation, man, that folks got to stay abreast on, man. And
Yeah.
right now, we with COVID, man, happening, you need to understand it, and you need to understand how to leverage streaming. So it's a good thing. So it's going to be a good conversation, man.
So spread this word, all right? Spread it out there. First, want to give shout out to our sponsors, all right? Hey, Spectrum, go ahead and contact Patricia. Go ahead and get that bundle right there, okay? $99.97. Go ahead on and give her a call at that number, Patricia, all right? Also, GoodfellasStudios.com. If you're an artist in the Triad area or around, make sure you go and contact them, okay? GoodfellasStudios.com, as well as go ahead and stream The Rain, All Facts. Yes, he's putting it down. Go and check him out, All Facts. Hey, man, I'm telling you, you will be blessed. Also, is being brought to you by, again, Renew Your Mind Records, Life Changers 2020, TikiLive.com, the Music Industry Makeover.com. Go and check us out, okay, as well as In the Box. Check out Rico on In the Box on Friday nights. Go ahead, Rico, tell them about the show.
So In the Box is a show about creators for creators. It's teaching you how to. We interview different artists throughout the music platforms, whether they're music producers, singers, engineers, everybody that have a position they play in the music industry, whether mainstream or independent, to kind of give you, life experiences and best practices and how-tos. And then we don't want to forget about Just Life with me and Pastor Ricky Bennett on Sundays at 8 p.m. And we're going to be going to Tuesdays also. So we're going to be going 2 times. You can't hear me, Jim?
Yeah, Jim, no sound? What? Man, I know we're not going through that again, are we? Oh man, I hope not. And so, hey, you all, let us know if you could hear us out.
Let us know if you can hear us. If we're muted to you, let us know. Give us a comment. Let us know that.
Yes, let us know, because again, we don't want to, have to go through that. I went through that the other day or so. Oh man. Again, yeah, this is the Music Industry Makeover. Hope all is well. Matter of fact, let me again, you all let us know if you can hear us out there, all right? Because we want to bring you this quality show. We don't want you to miss out on this right here. Okay, yeah, the sound is fine.
Okay, so it's him then.
Yeah, him. Okay, all right then.
Okay,
okay. All right. Hey, so again, you all tune in, spread the word out there, let folks know what is going on. Okay, hey, you don't want to miss out on this. I believe that's all I have. Again, you see our sponsors on there. Make sure you go and contact them and go visit us. Yeah, Jim, I think that's on your end, Jim.
It's on your end, Jim. We're fine. I think it's your system.
Yeah, it's your system, Jim. So
it's you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So all right. Well, hey, look. Well, without further ado, sorry. Yeah. Let me. Okay. Yeah. All right then. Cool. All right. Hey, we want to bring on this young man. I call him super producer here, that's doing some great things. This is my brother here, Danny Smith, but he's known as D-Ray, the producer of Soul Resurrection Music. So let's go ahead on and bring him on here, Music Industry Makeover or so, because he's man. Hey, this is awesome, brother. What's up, D-Ray? How you doing, my brother?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, everybody?
All right,
you, man.
Yeah,
what's up, man? Glad to have you on.
I'm finally on.
Yes, one of my loyal days. He's finally on.
Finally on.
Man, we had gray hair and all and everything.
Oh man, yeah. I had to trying to get the high top fade, man.
Oh man, hey man.
That's that experience, man. Like if I let my beard grow out, man, I'll be like snowman.
No, look, I was telling Ron, the reason for my experience, they running out there on the other side of that door.
Man, oh man. Well, hey, DeRay has been in the music industry for a while. He's putting out some great music, and his website here is man, a divine favor project.bandoozle.com. We're going to be talking with him concerning streaming. All right, and this is someone who has basically been streaming since what, 2014, right?
13.
Or
2013, yeah.
All right. So real quick, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself briefly and things, and then we're going to get into the streaming here.
Okay. Originally, I'm from High Point, North Carolina. Right now, I'm residing in Salisbury, North Carolina, which is maybe about 30 miles outside of Charlotte. I've been in the music industry since I was 17. I started off as a music major at Winston-Salem State, and yeah, I didn't graduate there, but I definitely went there. And started off from there, and it was just a slow progression as to learning the business and learning the ins and outs. And I came to really love producing music and learning how to produce music. And so everything from the time that I stepped into a studio the first time when I was 17 up until now, I feel like I'm still a work in progress, and learning something new every day. And so whether it was learning, how to play chords or how to mic something, how to get audio signal through a board, or whether it was learning how to record at home and do vocals and make music. I really have a love of doing that, and reflecting the kind of music that I grew up on.
All right. Awesome. Definitely. And so since you've been in the music since you were 17, and a lot has changed when it comes to distributing music. Now
Absolutely.
the big trend now is streaming. Okay, streaming. And again, if you all have any questions or comments, you want to jump in on this conversation, we are here for you. Go ahead on and post them up there so that we can address you, and even Danny address you. Okay, you've been streaming since 2013.
Right.
What songs do you what's your popular song that you have on there right now?
There's two songs that we have that we still see residuals on from 2013. One is called Seasons Change. It's by Meek. And the other one is a neo soul song by a guy named Rio. And the name of the song is If You Could Love Me Like You Do Music. And the story about the second song is a little bit more compelling as it pertains to streaming. That story begins at an infamous playwright ball in Charlotte.
Yeah. Yeah.
It starts at a very infamous playwrights ball where I met the singer, a guy by the name of Mario Smith, who was in this play. And we struck up a friendship, but he lived in Iowa and I lived in North Carolina. So we collaborated back and forth via the internet. I created a track for him. He recorded the vocals and I released it. And lo and behold, it kind of took off, but it didn't take off in a way that I thought it was going to take off. It took off in the Netherlands.
The Netherlands, okay.
And it started streaming like very quickly and abundantly, but in the Netherlands. Wow. We were getting, at one time, 4,000 and 5,000 streams a month.
Wow.
And so this was at a time where, I was working in a library, basically a research assistant. But I'm sitting here looking at my streaming numbers and I'm like, oh, wow, we're about to be rich. Look at this. And so it's like, wow, I'm starting to check the Billboard charts. It's like, oh man, we got a hit, but it's in the Netherlands.
Okay.
We get the royalty statement.
So, all right. So let's order.
Yeah, go ahead.
So from 2013
right
to right now, 2020. Okay. How much All right, no. How many streams do you have right now?
For that one song,
Yeah,
is just shy of 90,000 streams.
90,000 streams from 2013 to 2020. That's
Right.
what you have right now.
Right.
Okay. Now this is the big thing. How much money have you made for 90,000 streams from 2013 to 2020? This present day.
$260.
Wait a minute. Say it again. Was it 2,000 or 20?
$260.
That is robbery.
Yeah.
That's a sin.
Yeah. And it actually would have been more than that. We decided to use a foreign distributor when we released the song, and we released the song in December of 2014. And so by 2015, when we started getting these streams, we had accumulated with the distributor a certain amount of money that right before the first payout, Brexit happened, which was
Explain Brexit.
when the United Kingdom decided to leave the European Union and to strike out on their own economically. Well, what that did to the value of the euro was that devalued the euro. And so that meant that that money that we had, we lost money before we even got it. And yeah, so we went from, let's say if you had $300 that you had earned, they were only going to, by the time Brexit happened, you were right at maybe 260, 270, somewhere around in there. You were losing money as they was talking about leaving the European Union.
Again,
Yeah.
this from 2013 to 2020, you made $200.
Now, let's even talk about something even worse.
90,000 streams.
Let's talk about something even worse. That was a neo soul song. Meek, Seasons Change, we released in spring of 2013. Right at this moment, it has been streamed just about 2,000 times, just that one song.
Mm-hmm.
We've made about $60.
Since
And that's
2013,
since 2013.
5,000 streams, right? To 2020,
2,000, yeah.
I mean, 2,000 streams.
Mm-hmm.
20, $60.
$60.
Yo, Rico, man, what you think? Bro,
Hey, listen,
out there
I have a famous saying because we all feel that. I mean, that's right now. That's that's the negative right now when it comes to streaming. So you really have to be really creative as an artist to try and get your money. You have to. I always talk about this in the last show we was on, and I use the term leverage streaming.
Mm-hmm.
You want to leverage streaming. You really not gonna see no real money until you get 2-3 million streams.
Right.
And a lot of people are not getting 2-3 million streams unless you just happen to be a mainstream artist or you really just have a hot song at the time, and but we talking about organic streams. We're not talking about you going to pay some type of streaming farm.
Right. And yeah, and that's one thing that I refuse to do. I never bought streams. I wanted to see, because at the time, this was before I went to grad school, and this was before I decided to really start learning the business. I really wanted to see where this would go organically. And so, yeah, I don't believe in buying those lists and buying those likes.
Right.
And so,
organically is always better. You know what I mean? But, the lay of the land is going to change because you have a lot of people, man, that are fighting for streaming to change. You are doing, right now, podcasting, although you may get your podcast on Spotify, people are playing it downloaded. We're not getting paid for that, but I think that'll change as time goes on because, relatively digital technology and streaming is very new. And eventually things will change. But the great thing is, there's always a rainbow. Yeah. You want to leverage streaming. So now when I say leverage streaming, like you have that one song with 90,000 streams. Now imagine if you had 2,000 songs out there doing 90,000 streams. So you turn around and take that $260 and you multiply that, 90,000 times, and that even though it's $260, it becomes a large sum of money. So now as an artist, because we can't change streaming.
Yeah.
So the thing that you can do as an artist is pair up with artists that's dope, because it don't do you good to do songs with whack artists, right? Because if the artist is whack, nobody gonna stream that mess anyway, right?
That's true.
So you and that artist, as a producer, you and that artist can come to an understanding, and you guys can build a catalog together and release the song. If the artist want to do merch, but merch is another conversation. We're just talking about streaming, okay? And you go into the next artist. So even personally, my goal before I die, I want to have about 77,000 streams, right? I mean 77,000 works that by songs. So I want to have 77,000 songs that I've already released, right? Because then when you leverage, when you get 260 over here, and you multiply that by 70,000 times, right? That becomes a large sum of money. And the more popular you become, the more people begin to stream. So that's the way that you can kind of, it's a long-term hustle? Yes, because you're not going to get rich off streaming. It's right now, it's not designed to do that, but you just got to use wisdom in how you put the business model together. So you don't turn down songs. Do songs with many people as you want to. Just make sure you do the songwriter split sheets correctly, and make sure that song is recorded in your guild properly. And just go to the next song. Keep making songs.
Right. Very good. Again, we're talking with D-Ray, the producer. Talking about streaming. If you got any questions or comments or so, feel free to type them in there, post them, because we want y'all to understand that don't put your eggs all in one basket. Think that you're gonna make a lot of money off of streaming. Okay, that's streaming is just one part of your brand that you need to have on there. All right, it's good to have streaming. Yeah, there is some pros to streaming, but as you can see as you can hear from what D-Ray just said, okay, from 2013 to now, all right, he makes $60 off of one song. Who had 2,000 streams and 88,000 streams on another song, and made $200.
Right. And I paid for promotion for both of those songs.
You paid for promotions? Wow.
Yeah. I bought paid ads on Facebook for those songs. Now granted, I set like a very meager budget, but I wanted to see how those ads could go, and if I could target certain places. So really, yeah, we made $200, but if you minus what I paid in the ads, it was a little bit less than that. Now, on the flip side of the streaming story, and I think I saw Carlos making a comment. We had an event.
Oh yeah.
We had an event back in 2000, I want to say 13, that Carlos Massey, Big Los, was host. It was my wife's Meek. It was her EP release event. And we had a few people that performed, and we had some vendors, and it was at my mother-in-law's church, and we didn't have a whole lot of people that showed up that night. I want to say it maybe 5 or 6 people that actually came to the show.
Yeah.
We made more money that night than we made in 6 years of streaming.
Wow.
Both combined. We made more money that night. And so what that taught me was that marketing and promotion is fine, but you still have to have a mindset of, where am I marketing and where am I promoting? Where am I sending these people? And am I sending them to stream, or am I inspiring them to invest money in my career? If I knew then what I know now, I would have been trying to cultivate the super fan to say, hey, I need 1,000 of y'all to spend $100 on me. You know what I mean?
A year.
Yeah, really. and try to crack that code on how can I reach 1,000 people that love Seasons Change and love that sound. How can I reach 1,000 people that love the song that I wrote with Mario Smith? How can I reach 1,000 people and inspire them to say, you know what? I could see me spending $100 on y'all. And what am I going to ask them to spend $100 on? Those are a lot of the questions that that now that I know better and you do better, now that'll be what we do in the future. But back then, I was clueless.
I wanted to put a perspective on that streaming. So if somebody's listening and you happen to play the replay, as I know there's a lot going on, but you play the replay. If we take that same $260 that Danny was just talking about, and you have 2,000 songs out, that's $520,000. That is a real perspective of streaming. You got to do more than just one song.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if he did 2,000 songs, and those 2,000 songs did, because over time, streams happen over time. Because as you build your super fans and new people see about you, they begin to find your music. You know, your music will pop up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then over 2,000 people at $260 is $520,000. So that's why when I say it's leverage streaming, keep doing songs. You know, now when it comes to your super fans, because streaming is, because when you think about music is it's a slice, it's a pie. So we take the business model in music and we can slice it, right? We can slice it in several pies. Mm-hmm. Streaming is a one slice of the pie, you know, it's a small slice, right? Then you may write a song for someone else. You know, if you happen to write a song, you know, you may get money from that, right? If you do merchandising, you're gonna get money from that as well, right? Mm-hmm. Even now, as an independent artist, you got to try instead of, because even things are changing. We did a show about Live Nation and how now, because Live Nation is going to start, you know, charging way more money,
right,
for concerts. It really puts the artist in a bad situation, because there may be some things that's out of the artist's control to reason they can't do that concert. You know what I mean? And then the artist may have to pay them double of what they were supposed to get paid. What the artist was supposed to pay them, get paid, they're going to have to pay a Live Nation that amount double, which is robbery, right? Yeah. So what it says to me, that the people that are in a place that own these venues, you know, they're trying to make more money, so so now their practices may become more unscrupulous. So it just may mean that you will have to start planning your own concerts. We have to go back to the barn days, going back to the
Chitlin
circuits. The Chitlin circuits will end up, because in the Chitlin circuits, it may become relevant again, because you can acquire your super fans. And those super fans are the ones that'll spend $100 a year with you. If you got 1,000 of those, that's $100,000 a year.
You know, it's funny you said something about the venues. I remember back years ago, I was from Winston-Salem State. I went to UNC Charlotte, and I was on the programming board at UNC Charlotte. This was right around 98, 99. We were gone for Christmas holiday. And this was right around the time that Prince had released the 3-disc set Emancipation.
Mm-hmm.
And if y'all remember, Prince was putting on his own tour at this time because he was trying to bypass Ticketmaster.
Right.
And because of the price of the tickets. And so the advisor calls us in. He called me in because I was kind of over that particular part. And he said, I just had to pass on a Prince concert. And I said, what do you mean you had to pass on? We're talking about Prince. You mean Purple Yoda Prince? You passed on him? And I remember him saying there was a concert promotion company that I won't mention that told us that if we accepted Prince, we wouldn't be able to do another show in Charlotte again at our venue. And that experience, to me, is what this whole Live Nation thing is kind of reminding me of, because they're kind of putting people in positions to where If you don't want to pay that and take that risk, you're gonna have to figure out another way to do your show. Now it's gonna lead to some creative outcomes, but even the big names, if I was a Beyonce or Lady Gaga or Bruno Mars, and I had to run the risk of paying the promoter double,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna figure something else out.
Well, really, what is to figure out is, we look at. I always like to use Lecrae, and not in a negative way, because people kind of like to give him a bad rap, but on a business wise, Lecrae was doing concerts. You go and you do a concert. You imagine if your concert is sitting 4,000 people, and you got 20,000 fans in that city, you got to do 5 shows to be able to reach those 20,000 fans. So obviously it makes better sense to get into a contractual situation where you can get into the arena that can sit 30,000 people and you can get all your fans in one pot. You get all your money at one time instead of tiring yourself out doing multiple shows and then just going to the next city, because you can do more. You can accumulate more money that way. But in this Live Nation situation, it's really just gonna cause you to go back to doing the 4,000 people show, because then you think about fire code. You're limited to places that you can go because certain places are gonna have a limit on how many people can come in, and that's fine. You just do multiple shows, just like a pastor that's doing a church service. If the church only sit 1,000 people, you got 4,000 people want to come to service, they're gonna do 4 shows, from 4 services to 5 services. You know what I mean? So, and it's gonna be good for you, because then I think every artist should do that. I think every artist should start on the chicken circuit. And the reason why I say that is because it's going to teach you the business. It's going to teach you how to deal with people. It's going to teach you about time management, scheduling. It's going to teach you why you need your role manager. It's going to teach you how to manage your money. If you got to rent a van, if you got to, instead of renting a sound system, you may have to start out buying you a sound system, because a lot of places you go, the sound system is not going to be good. So that means a sound system should be one of the things that you invest in as an artist. If you plan on doing concerts, and it's easy. You can reach out to me, or guys like me, audio guys, because I would go and I would install equipment in the churches and stuff, and I can show you how to build out your own equipment so you can have your own concert with good quality equipment. Because a lot of mainstream artists would travel around. When they wasn't doing big shows, they were doing smaller shows. They would travel around with a van and their own equipment so they can have the sound that they used to. It just means that it will make you a better artist to do that on your own versus somebody else doing it for you. And then they're taking all your money because they're planning for you. So yes, it's an inconvenience, because then those big arenas, because they feel like, hey, we taking a bigger risk. You don't show up, we got to pay. And it's kind of, and nobody can tell another person to do with their money or their property. So if they feel that they're taking a bigger risk and they don't want to take that risk, then as an artist, I can't get mad at them. I just got to figure out another way. Another way is to go back to the chitlin circuit, and now you need, because right now with COVID, you guys need to start doing grassroots marketing again. Right? We've gotten lazy as independent artists because everybody wants these big contracts, want to be mainstream. Even mainstream artists are trying to do grassroots marketing again musically, because they're trying to pull out those super fans. And if you don't do grassroots marketing is when you go to small places, you do small concerts, coffee shops. It don't matter if 20 people come to that coffee shop and you retain 5 people that feel like they really love your music and they follow you everywhere. Guess what? You got 5 super fans that's willing to spend $100 a year with you. And we got to stop. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You was good. That was good.
So we got to stop looking at the big number, because the big numbers of people will cause you to get distracted, and you don't want to do the little things, or you feel, what's going on, Leo? You'll feel as though doing the little thing is like insulting to you, when the little thing is very important, because it's going to teach you how to make your money all over again, and you'll be able to make more money, and you'll be able to have more control over your money. And you know what? I don't want to do a concert at 50, 60,000 people, and you got to pay for security. People can sue you. It's a whole lot easier to do a concert with 2,000 people. So
Very
do
true.
concerts as 2,000 people and just keep do. Guess what? If you're doing your music full time, you
Yeah.
can do 10 shows a week
Yeah, that's
and
right.
get your in 2,000 a show. That's still amicable. That's still good money.
Yeah.
Again, this is the Music Industry Makeover. Every Thursday night, we come on at 9 p.m. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Our guest is D-Ray, the producer. All right, you can find him at the Divine Favor Project.bandzoogle.com. Check it out. All right, man. I posted. I wanted to post this to let y'all know because we're talking about streaming. This was one of his songs, his actual songs. It had 88,000 streams in the Netherlands. Okay, over a 6-year period, and he only made $200. Okay.
I want to go back to something that Rico said.
Mhm.
When you're talking about innovation, I'm reminded because both of us, all of us here, we're all about relatively the same age. So
Mhm.
about 30 years ago, the biggest entertainment company in the world was Blockbuster.
Yes.
It was Blockbuster Video was on every corner. Blockbuster, it was hot. Blockbuster, then they moved into arenas. Then it was Blockbuster Entertainment. Then it was a huge company. Well, you know what? In 1997, this guy had borrowed a movie called Apollo 13, and he brought it back late. And Blockbuster tried to charge him $40, a $40 late fee. And he said to himself, I wonder if I can create a company that didn't have any late fees. How can I figure this out? Because this late fee stuff is for the birds. I wonder if I could figure this out. That guy created Netflix.
Mm.
And so what winds up happening is that when we're talking to independent artists to say, hey, you need to think outside of the box, you never know what that thought might be to get around with the thing that we're talking about, Live Nation. I mean, think about this. Netflix started in 97. Netflix offered Blockbuster 3 years later, was like, hey, come buy us, let us run this. Blockbuster said, no, y'all not big enough. Y'all only have 500,000 subscribers. 5-6 years later, Blockbuster's gone.
Out of here.
Out of here. Wow.
Blockbuster is gone. There is no Blockbuster anymore.
A relic. A relic.
They're not even around anymore. And so the thing with Live Nation, yeah, I can see the writing on the wall. It's just like if you are an independent artist and you do a coffee house. I had a professor tell me one time that the money that artists made in the 80s is probably over. The millions and millions of dollars that, the Michael Jacksons, the Bruce Springsteens, the Madonnas, that could be over, relatively over. But you can make a really good living as a touring artist, and just like what Rico said, doing these shows and doing multiple shows. And if you have the right amount of marketing and promotion, you can make a really, really good living.
Now let me go back. Because I want to correct you on something.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't over because there are people that still own those arenas,
Mm-hmm.
and there are artists that still may plug into that system, and there will always be rich artists because the powers that be will always make that money and they'll make it happen. Now, if you're an independent artist, it'll be a whole lot harder to make money because those big arenas are controlled anyway. You can't even get into those arenas unless, and that was the deal that we saw with Meg Thee Stallion. She did the deal with 1501. Even though Carl had money, Carl didn't have the plug to get on the big arena. So that's why she had to go do the deal with 300 with Lyle Cohen, because Lyle, is the plug, right? That's their record exec. He got all the platforms. They got access to all the platforms. So that's how she ended up getting the 2 deals. I just don't think it'll be advantageous. And we've all been saying this for a while. It just won't be advantageous for an independent artist to do a mainstream deal because they're going to rob you so many different ways to where you kind of have to say, well, because some artists get into that system and they would rather be famous than to be rich.
Right.
Exactly. That system makes you famous, but it don't really make the artist rich unless you just kind of get selected and you get put into that favorite pool, right? But as an independent artist, you can be wealthy with your music and never be famous. And when I saw that happen, I remember, I'll never forget this. It was a guy that died in Miami. I can't remember this guy's name, but somebody watching it probably remember. This guy died in Miami, and he got buried in his Lambo.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, this dude, who is this dude? He had a Lambo. He had a music company. He had artists. He wasn't selling no dope. He was doing all his music. You know what I'm saying? Independently. You know what I mean? And so you can become wealthy as an independent artist if you focus on independent things, if you focus on grassroots marketing. Right. You know what I mean? And you focus on building your super fans one fan at a time. But that's my 2 cents on that.
Right. I had go ahead, Ron.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I had an opportunity. I did an internship at a studio one time. I had an opportunity to meet this artist named Annie DeFranco. And I had never really listened to her music, but I noticed that everywhere she went, she had fans that were dialed in. She didn't have a major deal. She's been independent like maybe since the 90s. And I was like, wow, that's kind of awesome if you think about it. Everywhere she goes, it's going to be at least 1,000 people that show up. And of those 1,000 people, there's going to be about 200 or 300 of them that's going to spend about $200 or $300 on merch just alone. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of career that I would love to have. The thing about signing a 360 deal with a major and then doing that $60,000 seat arena only for you to be broke 2-3 years later, that's not attractive. To me, that's not smart.
And for her to get to that point, she had to put in the work.
Right.
Gaining those fans, promoting herself,
right,
marketing herself, spending money on herself through marketing and promotion.
And she had a team.
Marketing.
And she had a dedicated team that's all they did.
Partners.
That's all they did. Right.
Exactly. Yeah, she didn't get there by herself. Yeah,
right.
She got there with the help of the Lord, with the team she had around her, all right, with them investing in her and she investing in herself, monies, okay? Again, pray about it all you want to and continue to pray, but you got to also put in the work.
So we're giving you the game right now. Like if you're just not listening to Music Industry Makeover, we're giving you, when I'm telling you, we're giving you some simple game right now that you can use. Just don't dismiss. You right now, start with those small people. Start with 5 people, 6 people, 7 people. It builds up over time.
All right, let's answer this question here. End Time says, why is everything in the world so economical? I understand the combo, but how do we change the music to let talent do just what they are in the gifts they have?
I'll answer that.
Yeah.
You just have to do it. There's a saying that says you can never achieve success by insuring against failure. You have to do it. And yeah, it's economical because it costs money to do music. Music is not free. I don't care if you're producing, composing, writing, you're a rapper, you're a singer, you're a guitar player. It's not free. The training is not free. You look behind Rico right there. Those monitors that are behind him, they cost money. The power that's powering those things, it costs money.
Exactly.
And so, to me, in my view, that's how an artist, even a true artist, you have to come bare minimum to say, what can I do to be sustainable? Bare minimum, this is a business. Now, if you don't want the business, grab a guitar, go out to the corner, play your music, and more power to you.
Yeah, more power.
But if you're talking about actually spending money to release music, then do it right. Get it done. Do it right.
So I want to answer the second part when he says, but how do we change the music to let talent do just what they are? Well, when it comes to doing music, Dan is a producer, I'm a producer, so we're creatives, right? When it comes to doing music, you just got to do the music and stop trying to be the light. Because you hear when you go to YouTube and you hear cats that put that music up and they say these are tight beats, these are tight beats, meaning because you're doing a beat that's a type of beat like this artist. It sounds like this artist. It sounds like that artist. When you do music, when you're an innovator, when you should be an innovator with your music. Your music should be what you want it to be. It should be everybody else should follow you. So how do we change the music? The producers and the artists change the music, meaning that you just refuse to sound and do music like everybody else. I understand that we may take bits and pieces because when you listen to a lot of mainstream music, I can hear they'll sample a piece of the song and they'll build on it. I think that's cool because it kind of gives another feel of a song that was a hit. But I think as a artist, you should be able to create your music with a producer that can create from scratch, right? And that's how you change the music, and that's how artists become and do music they want to be. You have to stop conforming to what's popular.
And you gotta let the audience find you. Don't go finding the audience. Let the audience find you. I'll give you an example. Kurt Whalum had a tremendous project. I think it's the Gospel According to Jazz.
Yeah.
And he told a story one time where his label had dropped him, and because he wanted to do a country and western jazz album or something along that line. And he was down and out. He was confused, and he didn't know what to do without his major record label contract. And his wife asked him, "Okay, well, what's the difference? What kind of musician are you with a contract or without a contract?" And he immediately got the idea to do this CD that became one of the biggest selling gospel CDs ever, and he did it independently.
Yep.
And so the moral of that story is, and on top of that, he told a story where the album that he produced that got him dropped from the label, he was doing a tour in South Africa, and the people were singing this song that the label dropped him over. And he was like, wow, they know me over here by this song that I got dropped on. And here they are, they're singing the song. So the bottom line is, do marketing and promotion. I'm not saying to not do marketing and promotion, but your audience has to find you. Your audience, you don't want your audience looking for a carbon copy of somebody that's already out there. Because they're not gonna want the carbon copy. They're gonna want you.
That's well said. Yeah, well said. Again, y'all got any comments?
I got to comment, man. Whenever I hear somebody, man, trying to sound like Buster, I'd rather hear Buster because he's the best at being Buster.
Right.
Okay. What if your music is based on ordered steps from the Father? Do you continue into the business?
Yes. I say yes. And the reason I say yes is because the music that you're saying is that you're considering your ordered steps from the Father, your music might be reaching somebody that another artist, their music might be overlooking. Just like people talk about preaching, people want to preach to the hills, but what about the people in the valley? I say do that music, do it to the best of your ability. Make sure that you're working with a producer and working with an engineer that can get you sonically. Now, there's a difference between doing music that is ordered and there's a difference between that and then it's not sounding professional. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what kind of music, and I don't care who told you to make it. If it doesn't sound professional, it's not going to come off like you want it to. And so, yeah.
And the caveat I was going to add to that is, this is what, as Christians, as believers, and I'm going to say as believers, this is what we have to get to because we miss it. Jesus said, my people perish for a lack of knowledge, right?
Right.
We think because we love Jesus, we follow Jesus, that we don't have to be excellent, that we don't have to be the top of our craft. Right. We don't have to be really dope in doing it. We do it halfway crook, how we put it out. But think about when you do a song, if you got a real message as an artist, if you're an artist, I'm gonna take you in times, if you got a real message in your music, why wouldn't you want 100,000 people to hear your song? And in order for you to get that song to 100,000 people, you got to have some type of business behind it. So when you say, should I continue in the business? So then did the Lord tell you, well, I want you to do this song and I only want you to go to 5 people and that's it. And now if God said he only wants you to go to 5 people, then you don't need no business. You just get in your car and drive to 5 people and play your song for them and get back in your car and go do what you're doing, right? But if the Lord didn't limit you to 5 people, then of course, if you have a real message, that's how people, the music that's prevalent right now, because there's not a lot of choices. I think my artist, Radiant, one of the artists that I partner with, he put up a post yesterday and said, we need more artists to talk about music. I mean, to talk about money, to get them motivated to make money and get focused on business, because we have to go and listen to a secular artist. Because when I get ready to make money, I go listen to Birdman. Just me, right? Because if I need to make a sale, it's gonna get me motivated. Now, I'm mature enough not to listen to other things Birdman talk about, right? I'm a mature believer, right? But we should have music to help the believer get geared up and get focused and encouraged to do something.
And can I'm sorry, go ahead, Ron.
Basically, artists, a lot of artists are afraid of the word business because they want to spiritualize everything, thinking that if we get into business, or if money is involved, then it's evil. And that's not it. It's the love of money. Go ahead. Say it, Danny. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, God is a God of order. Correct. And there's an order to doing things. I don't care what kind of music it is. Every time I turn my computer on, that costs me money. Right. Every time I plug up a guitar amp, that's costing me money. Right. Every time, and I'm not saying that I don't have faith, but what I do say is that I'm seeing it as an investment that, I got to figure out how to best get this out to people. And, I just don't want to be doing it just to be doing it.
So I want to add, take what Danny just said, and I want to take what the End Times just said, and I want to pose this question to you, End Times. You say, what about your faith in him? When you go pay your light bill, now if you don't pay a light bill, if your lights are free, then you're not gonna catch this. But when you go pay your light bill, do you say, what about my faith in him? Or do you pull your money out and pay the light bill? When you go and get your gas in your car and you see that gas is really higher than it is on this side of town, but your hand is on E, do you say, what about my faith in him? Or do you handle business and you pull that money out to pay for that gas? When it's time for your car insurance is due and you're getting robbed by the insurance company, do you say, what about my faith in him? Or do you say, man, I got to go make this insurance payment or I'm not going to be able to have no car insurance? So as believers, we tend to over-spiritualize day-to-day common sense things. And doing business is common sense. The Bible says money answers all things. So in the world that we live in, it's going to take you some form of business to complete your day unless somebody else is taking care of you. And guess what? Then they're doing business to even take care of you because we live on this system, right? So
you're either going to do your business or you're going to help somebody else do theirs because you got to go to work every day.
And then when you want to go eat, when you want to go buy food, groceries, and you tell them it's my, what about my faith in him? When you go to Walmart or so, I mean, I'm just saying.
When you go buy groceries, I keep it 100, man. That's what I do because I'm the little black sheep of the group. When you go buy your groceries, do you speak in tongues? When you get to the register, do you speak in tongues? When you get to the register, do you pull out a Bible scripture when you got that buggy full of food? Or do you pull out that case or a credit card or EBT, some form of currency to swipe to get that food out of there? You don't speak in no tongues. Or you may say, baby, let me pray for you. But you may pray for the cashier. But that's not going to be the currency it's going to take for you to get that food out of the grocery store.
Come on.
It's being real. We got to stop that.
That's true. And I want to see I want to see independent artists, particularly Christian gospel artists. I want to see them perform well and sound well. I don't want to turn on the radio because I think that's what I mean. Think about the non-believer. If we're trying to get people to Christ and we say, hey, listen to this, and it don't sound as good, and I'm not talking about the message. I'm not talking about the message. I'm just talking about just sonically. If you got a word from God, don't you think you should ensure that people can hear every word that God gave you?
And if you don't, and if you are an artist and you can't make your music, don't you think you should get the very best producer that can paint the picture that you have so they can be up to par and above standard?
Right.
You know? And I always tell people this: if you can't afford, if you don't have the talent to do your own music, right? There are some artists that can make their music, they can produce it, they can mix and master it, they write it. If you're not that person that have all those talents, you got to put your money together to make sure you get it together. And if you don't, it means you're not ready to do music. Stop saying the Lord just want me to do it, because the Lord wants great presentation. When did Jesus, go through scripture, when did Jesus ever not give a good presentation? Even if he said a few words, he left a lasting impression. People always think that Jesus was poor. Even the garments that he had was not poor garments, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just because we're saved, we're not talking about trying to prostitute the gospel. It's shame on those people that are trying to prostitute the people of God. Shame on those people that's trying to prostitute the word of God to get money from people, and they're not concerned about people. But it's not a sin to make money. It's how you make the money, and it's what you do with the money. That can be a sin. It's not a sin to make it. It's how you do that. God wants you to prosper, but prospering may mean for you, the Lord may put a limit on you and say, you know what, I don't want you to make no more than 100,000. Another person will say, look, I need you to make 10 million because I got 100,000 people I need taken care of, and I can trust you with that 10 million that you're not going to be tricking off and doing something else with the money. So I'm going to give you 10 million. But he may not give you 10 million because you're going to get the 9 million and you're going to start tricking off. So that amount differs for every person.
And there's a reason why we are saying this. If you are tuning in, there are a lot of artists that have this kind of mentality. Okay. And again, business, there's nothing evil about business. It's how you conduct business. Okay. So, over spiritualizing things is really not going to get you anywhere. And don't think that you're going to get anywhere by using sympathy as well, too, because that's a big turnoff,
Can I? Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, I was just gonna say one of the things that govern my life is the parable of the talents.
Amen.
I am afraid of being the one to have my talent and to bury it because I'm afraid to try to make something out of it, or I'm afraid that somebody might think that I'm trying to make too much money, or I'm afraid of this and that or that. I want my talent to multiply. And the only way that my talent is going to multiply, you have to learn certain principles just to get it to that point. And I'm not even talking about just the message. It's just order.
Or that one talent, when you feel like that one talent is not worth anything and you go bury it because you're mad because God didn't give you 3 or 5. Right. You devalue your own talent, and you feel disgruntled. Because I've met artists that can sing, and because they couldn't produce music or write really well, they were upset. But they had a great voice.
And people don't understand the work that it takes for even the people that you think is great. I remember listening to an interview with one of Whitney Houston's producers, and they said that it was a lot of work turning a church singer into a recording artist. A lot of work. And people don't understand that. And just because, and with that lot of work, that means that's a lot of money. That's an investment.
That's why you all run record companies, because they have the funds to invest in you. But again, if you have to show yourself worthy. Why am I worth investing in? So,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Again, it's the Music Industry Makeover. We want to thank you all so much for tuning in. If you got any questions, you got a few minutes or so, feel free, because again, we want to help you as an artist out there go to the next level. And, this is more of a teaching moment and things for you. Okay. All right. I just finished my second album. All right. Well, to God be the glory. So go and promote it. All right. Promote the album because nobody here knows about it.
And I would recommend End Times, get you a team, brother. Get you a team. Not only get you a team of believers that believe in God just like you do, but they have the interest to get your message out to the people.
They understand business.
And they understand that this is not about to make you rich. This ain't about making you. Now, it could very well be that you have a multi-platinum album sitting out there. But what this is to ensure that you can continue to make that message, to continue to make that music, and to be sustainable. 80,000 streams over 6 years, $200. You can't even pay rent with that.
Now, Danny, what if? All right, so basically, that's pretty much what, half a cent or so.
It actually comes out to, and I did a quick. It was embarrassing. It was
less
point.
Than half.
Yeah,
it's like what, the 7/7,000 of a cent.
It actually comes out to 0.0025, which means that I would have to. You have to get played 5 times to make 1 penny.
5 times to make 1 penny. Okay,
yeah,
guys, if you just tune in, this is what Danny made off of one song in 6 years. All right, $200. And what, this was from Spotify or Apple or just a streaming?
All of them.
All of them. Wow, all of them combined. Wow.
All of them.
I like what Leo said. Leo said we're not in the gospel to get rich, but to get the message. However, you want to practice good business, because to have good business is going to push your message farther. You ain't got to get rich, because that term rich is subjective. You know what I mean? The same way that you go and you work a job making 40,000, if you ain't got no debt and all your bills are paid off, your mortgage is rented free and clear, $40,000 is more than enough to get there, because you have literally no other bills. And that 40,000 is just like 120,000 to somebody else. Because the word comfortable and having enough is going to mean different things, right? Because some of us got bigger families, some of us have bigger responsibilities. Some of us, the Lord don't just want you to, not, take care of your debts. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can't if you don't have the money to pay your debts. It's a different thing than you got money, you go buy a Lambo or something like that. But at the same time, understand as a believer, your message, if you want your message to go farther, you have to be able to have good business, because you got to track all that stuff.
Now, real quick, I want to go back to this. So now, if you would have made at least 25 cents per stream,
that would have been somewhere close to about $30,000.
$30,000, 25 cents per stream.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And you think about Spotify, I want to say they made $200 or $300 million last year, maybe a little bit more than that. Mm-hmm. And the CEO is a billionaire, and they're talking about trying to cut the royalty rate for streams. So that could be less money.
So that's why, as an artist, you gotta figure out another way, man, to get some money. That's all that means. Because you gotta understand, the world that we living in is changing, y'all. Right? And let me give you something real before we get out of here. The world is changing, and the people that were making money is making less, right? And for them to make more, they're gonna start cutting out even doing things unscrupulous, doing things unfair, because they want to make more money. Yeah. Just don't wait until you get to that end of the street before you figure out how to make more money, how to transact the business on your own or with your own team. I say all these things that are happening is really great, because what it's doing is putting power back into in the hand of the independent artists. When things get up and going, y'all laughing at Music Industry Makeover. Because I know sometimes, man, you know, cats laughing, but in a minute, everybody gonna run because cats gonna try to figure out what do I do, and you're not gonna have simple basic knowledge, and that's what it's gonna come to. Because eventually, all the doors are gonna close, and you're not gonna be able to get in them because you're really not gonna have no money. It's not gonna be no money for you. So now you got to go back right down to out the gate, the basics. Like, okay, what do I do with my music? What can I do?
Right, and can I add on real quick that the paradigm is shifting to where just like Facebook makes its money on market research and knowing its audience, that's where the artist is going to start having to make their money on market research and knowing your audience. You think Beyonce is making millions of dollars on sales and streaming? No, she's making money because she has access to 2 million people that will pretty much do anything she says. Just like Oprah. Oprah has access to millions and millions of people who will pretty much say, okay, I'm going to go buy this book right here. And immediately that person is a bestseller.
Right.
That's where we're heading as artists. Now, you might not get to that level, but if you know your audience, you will become a value because your audience will become a revenue stream.
Now, what's important, what Dana just said is you need to have somebody to understand business because you need to, that person need to understand analytics and statistics.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's business.
Absolutely.
You need to be able to have an analytics and statistics model to be able to watch your demographic, who's your demographic, so you know who to market to, so you don't market to 50 people that don't even care who you are, that you're wasting time and money trying to market to.
Or
That's what marketing and promotions do for you, because we have analytics, we have statistics. That's what we do.
I was about to say, and market into a song in the Netherlands that you could never get over there to tour with.
And again, and then to add on what Rico was saying, we have platforms. Music Industry Makeover, we create our own platform to where we control the exposure. Okay, that's why you see us all over the place. So because again, we have fans, the folks that follow us, radio, video, podcasting, TV show. Yes, you know what I'm saying, and then live events when all this COVID is over and so, you know what I'm saying. But right now, yeah, we'll do virtual events, but we control the platform, which helps to give you the exposure that you need. So yeah, that's why it makes sense to get a team, to get with somebody who has an audience that can help push whatever it is that your demographics, who you're trying to reach. Because just aimlessly putting marketing out there is not going to get you any. Okay, so hopefully whatever he said tonight has helped you all. Again, go to musicindustrymakeover.com. We want to thank our guest, man, Danny. Hey, man, this
sure, yeah, bro.
Brother right here. The Ray, go to the Divine Favor Project.bandoozle. I mean,
Bandzoogle.com.
Bandzoogle. Oh wow! But yeah, go check them out. Producer, we got 2 awesome producers up here that are doing some great things. They're not just they're more than beat makers. Matter of fact, no, they are producers. There is a difference between a beat maker.
Music visionaries, man. And then I want to shout out to Meek and shout out to Demi Day, 2 of his female artists. July is all female. That we showcasing all females on In the Box. We're gonna be doing interviewing females.
Yeah.
And he has 2 artists, and one is a singer, one is a rapper. But Demi Day is dope, like super dope. I just said Demi. Go look at her name is Demi Day, Demi. Second name Day, Day. She is super dope. I would have to say, man, boy, if I had to put my money on it, I have to put in. I probably have to put in the top 3 females. Period. She dope.
Is she on the website?
She's not on this website, but she has a YouTube channel, and you can follow her on all social media channels, all social media platforms, and she would love to hear from you. Demi Day on just about anything. So yeah,
dope.
Okay. Dope. All right. Well, hey, there's the name right there, Demi Day. Just Google it. Go to YouTube. Check her out. This is Soul Resurrection. Artist right here. Hey, people, any last words?
So what, Ron?
Yeah, any last words you want to say to the people real quick?
Oh, let's not forget, man. Don't forget the In the Box podcast, man. Tomorrow night, it's gonna be a great show. I'm gonna have Brandy on. Brandy's gonna be on tomorrow night. Brandy, and she's a singer, man. She's out of Baltimore, Maryland, and she's gonna be sharing. And I love women creatives, you know, simply because women creatives, man, always have a story to tell, and they go through stuff, and they still keep persevering. And we got to support our women artists, man. You know, because believe it or not, and I was saying this to Danny, not to Danny. I can't remember who I was saying this to. Men, we don't buy no albums. Women buy albums. Women buy the music. If how many men not gonna buy a lot of merchandise from you? I'm gonna tell you that. Women gonna be the ones spending the money getting your merch. If a guy buys something, if the hat look kind of dope or something, then we might get it. But we got this testosterone in us. We don't be trying to support no other man like that, right? Now we may buy something from a woman, but women are the ones that spend the money when it comes to this music thing. Buying records of super fans, they women. How you think Chris Brown stayed in the game so long? Most of his fans are women. Still make money. We got to start supporting, man, our women artists, man.
And we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that on.
We're gonna do that, man.
Exactly, definitely. All right. Well, God bless you. Remember, you matter in the kingdom of God. You don't compare yourself or your ministry to anyone else out there. Just do what God's called you to do, and you'll be just fine. All right. Hey, don't forget in the box Friday night tomorrow. We'll see you. Hey, God bless you. Peace. Yeah.
Just give me the music.